Greetings, my friends. Please consider supporting me in my war to save pop culture by subscribing to my channel and possibly even becoming a channel member for exclusive videos, access to Doomcock emojis, and more. And if you like this video in particular, please consider using the new Super Thanks feature and putting a tip in the tip jar located next to the like buttons down at the bottom of the video. Thank you for watching, and now, on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today with a rare update on the situation behind the scenes at Lucasfilm in regard to Star Wars. Over the last 6 to 9 months, information regarding Star Wars has been hard to come by. Lucasfilm has battened down the hatches, preventing leaks and generally keeping things very much on the down low. And my Hollywood spies haven't been able to get anything regarding Kennedy since, really, rumors of her contract renewal surfaced. Well, the drought has ended, folks, and I've gotten several new reports regarding Kennedy, Favreau, and the current state of Star Wars smuggled out from behind the magic curtain. And I will be presenting one of these rumors to you today, with the rest to follow in future videos. Many Bothan spies died to bring you this information, which I think you will find very illuminating, so stick with this video to the end. It details what multiple sources are alleging went wrong with Book of Boba Fett, explains how the anger and hatred between Kennedy and Favreau deepened to the point where Favreau may actually walk away from Star Wars, and it highlights the dysfunction at Lucasfilm that has resulted in the decline of that galaxy far, far away.
The Book of Boba Fett was shockingly bad, Doomcock. I remember you were so disgusted by the end you were pretty much convinced that Star Wars was over, and it shocked you out of caring about Star Wars.
That's the thing, Harvey. Look, Favreau and Filoni traditionally made Star Wars content ranging from mediocre to brilliant, but they never stunk up the room. Star Wars under John and Dave was always to that point reliably watchable, with patches of sheer brilliance. The return of Luke Skywalker was one of my all-time favorite Star Wars moments, and those gentlemen are the ones that made that happen. So I've had a lot of faith in them, but it was clear from the first episode of Book of Boba Fett that something had gone horribly wrong. Dances with Sand People was boring, obvious, cliched, and boring for very long stretches of time. Then it only got worse, with the Vespas, the Black Wookiee that couldn't even kill Boba Fett dripping wet in his underwear, the ridiculous lack of action and narrative thrust. The only bright spots were the 2 episodes of The Mandalorian Season 3 they stuck in the middle of the season to replace other deleted episodes too terrible to even contemplate. I wondered, what in God's name happened here? Favreau and Filoni really shit the bed on this one, and I couldn't understand how they could allow their work to degrade so horribly. Well, my friends, some sources came forward claiming that it was Robert Rodriguez's fault that Book of Boba Fett stunk so bad, that Jon Favreau had gotten distracted with Ahsoka, had gone off and hadn't been paying attention, and while he was away, Rodriguez indulged himself, didn't even try to emulate the established style of the show, got lax and careless, and allowed this mess to unfold. That much is true, after a fashion, but there's a lot more to the story that was between the lines, and now multiple sources have come to my Hollywood spies to present you the information I'm about to share with you. At this point, I must state that what I'm about to share with you is information provided to me by sources who claim to have knowledge regarding the situation inside Lucasfilm regarding Star Wars and the relationship between Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy. But since I have no way of independently verifying this information, I must present everything I'm about to tell you as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt.
I consider myself duly salted, oh future ruler of Earth. Now spill the beans, dude. What the hell happened to Book of Boba Fett? And what's the current state of relations between Kennedy and Favreau?
Things are bad, Harvey. Things are very bad indeed. According to multiple sources, the Book of Boba Fett was a hijacked and changed show. If you recall, Favreau was quoted on the set as telling his people not to discuss certain things about the production as the eye of Sauron is everywhere. Sauron, of course, in this instance being Kathleen Kennedy. There has always been antipathy between Kennedy and Favreau, or at least it quickly escalated once Favreau saw how difficult it was going to be working with Kennedy, but apparently this reached new heights of dysfunction when it came to Book of Boba Fett. Favreau was very busy at the time, working not only on Book of Boba Fett, but also working on Ahsoka. Turns out that Favreau was unhappy with the constant low-level interference he was getting on Book of Boba Fett. The nature of that interference has not been revealed to me, but I have some assumptions, educated guesses if you will, that I think probably hit fairly close to home, but again, this is speculation. While John was in charge of Book of Boba Fett, there were still many ways that Kennedy could make Favreau's life difficult. You can't allow a troublesome spider like Kennedy to still remain in its web and not expect things to get sticky. So I imagine that these passive-aggressive stumbling blocks and what low-key harassment Kennedy could throw John's way just rankled and annoyed him to the point that he said, fuck it. According to multiple sources, for whatever reasons, Favreau was not happy on the production of Book of Boba Fett, so he left it in Robert Rodriguez's hands and went to Georgia to oversee Ahsoka. In Favreau's absence, not only was Rodriguez slacking on quality control, but Kennedy moved right in to fill that power vacuum, and that's when we got the mods and the Vespas and all the other lame bullshit that had Star Wars fans wailing and gnashing their teeth. At least those fans that weren't outright put to sleep or driven away from Star Wars for good.
Sounds like Kennedy really is very Sithy when you get right down to it. She was told that Favreau was in charge of Star Wars, and she said, okay, fine. But then annoyed and pulled passive-aggressive shit with Favreau to the point that he just got fed up and left to go work on Ahsoka, and that's when she moved in, and things really went to shit.
A brilliant strategy, if correct, Harvey. I've personally experienced this sort of thing before, where someone told to back off just keeps doing low-level aggressions not enough to trigger rebuke, but enough to make the work environment unpleasant enough to drive their enemy to quit or pursue other avenues. It's a very insidious thing to do, and so Sith Lord Darth Insidious herself pulled this on Favreau. And apparently, according to this report, it worked. Favreau left to work on Ahsoka, and darkness swooped in and enveloped Book of Boba Fett. But that's when the plot thickens. As my Hollywood spies put it, quote, according to all sources, once Disney saw what was to be Book of Boba Fett, they panicked and called Jon Favreau back. Favreau would come back under one condition. The bitch would not be allowed on set. If he as much as heard her name, he would leave, unquote.
Ouch! Holy shit, man, that's harsh. Seems like things have gotten even worse between them as time has gone by.
No doubt, Harvey. Favreau came back to Book of Boba Fett, but it was too late to do much to save it at that point. Favreau cut 3 of the scripts from the show, substituted 2 episodes of Season 3 from The Mandalorian, and those episodes were truly excellent, by the way. He did not replace the 3rd cut script with anything at all, and then they patched together a revised finale as best they could, but yeah. By then, the show was an embarrassment to Jon Favreau, and he was, shall we say, not at all happy. According to my Hollywood spies, quote, the hate between Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau has only gotten worse. Allegedly, they won't even be on the same Zoom calls, let alone in the same room for meetings. Ahsoka is done and is in post, and he is working on Mandalorian Season 3. We've been told, unless they keep Kennedy away from him, he could walk, unquote.
It's gotten so bad that Favreau may actually leave Lucasfilm and Disney? Abandon Star Wars altogether?
It looks that way, Harvey. I tell you, whatever Chapek can do to rein in Kennedy's interference, even the low-level passive-aggressive shit she's been pulling to make Favreau's life unpleasant, he better do it and fast, because if Favreau walks away from Star Wars is absolutely without any hope whatsoever of recovering. And remember, that's what Kennedy famously said, folks. I will have my way or burn this silliness to the ground. Now it's becoming clear that she meant it literally. Kennedy is like foul, polluted water that manages to seep into the fresh water and pollute it even when you build a dam to keep her contamination isolated. Like the Sith, she just rises again in unexpected places. As far as Favreau goes, my Hollywood spies tell me that Disney has already lost James Gunn to Warner Brothers, so losing John would be a huge blow to Disney, and word has it, Gunn is working on getting the band back together again over at Warner Brothers. Gunn has apparently made overtures to Favreau about following him over to Warner Brothers, and from all accounts, Zaslav has Gunn's back and is supportive of this recruitment. So there you have it, my friends. After Book of Boba Fett and the failure of Kenobi, most fans of Star Wars have walked away from this madness. But if Favreau bails on Star Wars, any hopes of a comeback for our galaxy far, far away will finally be dead. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.